This week on Feel Good Friday, let's talk depression. Ultrasound sniper rifles are the future. What? Poop shapes, the more you know. And 10 fingers, no thumbs, AI or genetic disorder.
Whoa. Who knows?
Who knows?
Nobody really knows.
Well, actually, somebody knows.
Somebody knows something?
Somebody knows something.
I can't wait.
CBC podcast.
I can't
that
wait.
most people listen to.
I cannot wait to be in the know.
Yeah, well,
Take me there, Daddy.
Yeah. We'll have to wait. So how do we? You know what? I wanted to kick this off. I don't want to like. I don't. You know, I'm not a super fan of making things like all about me on the Feel Good Friday episodes. I know I did this a couple of weeks ago when I was like, yeah, I'm like my fucking itchy skin and all that stuff. But I feel like this is something that is worth digging into for just at least just for the first little bit. So to kick this all off.
Dude, if you've got a mental illness, like, fucking turn
Shout
up.
out mental
like,
illness.
Seriously,
Turn
dude,
up.
Like, whatever the fuck you got going on, dude, fucking, you're medicated, you're not
Shout
medicated,
out.
dude. Like,
So I kind of alluded to this a couple of weeks ago, but and this is very I mean, this is not so fresh. This isn't that fresh because I've known this, but I got a diagnosis today of clinical depression.
How did that feel for you? I want to say, like, that is my question for you. But also, when you say, like, I don't want to make this all about me or whatever, I actually love when we get to have these types of conversations, when you know,
Sure.
talk about your itchy skin or talk about, your mental illness.
I just love when we get to talk about your itchy skin.
But what I mean by that, and I know that you know what I mean, but
Yeah, no, I do.
what I mean is, like, I really genuinely enjoy having those real conversations with each other, with you and with Taylor, and the fact that this is being recorded and put out, I don't really give a fuck about that when we get to talk about these things, because it's nice to make that time to talk about this stuff with each other.
I agree with you, and I just also recognize that there's people that are tuning in because they want to hear about the poop shapes. So
There definitely are those people.
don't worry, we'll get there. I don't think I really talked about this on the show, but oddly enough, coincidentally, and I think maybe potentially kind of linked, when I had this skin thing going on, I also was really struggling with my mental health. And here's the thing. The reason I'm talking about this openly is twofold. Number one, because I think it's important to be open about those types of things. But also number two, I'm doing this for my own good, because the more outspoken I am about it, the better it is for my own well-being. And I'll give you an example here. And this is
great content, to be honest. So, like, number 3, it's just excellent content.
Yeah. Just an absolute slut for putting my personal shit out into the world. Which is funny because people people think that, like that's one of the takes out there where it's like, oh, this guy's just what a fucking dummy out there, just putting his life out there. But hey, but so this is not so funny, but it is, like, I can see how this is funny in retrospect, but it's still happening right now, so it's like still not so funny. But like, there's a part of me that does laugh at this. A few weeks ago, I had this epiphany. Where I made the realization that I'm not okay, and I haven't been okay for a few years. And the epiphany came to me when I made the realization that I was doing something that is so fucking crazy. And I use the word crazy the way the word crazy shouldn't be used, which is I was crazy. And let me explain.
I'm aware.
Oh, I know you are. So I had this epiphany one night.
I'm supportively aware.
Yeah, I had this epiphany one night. We were out. It was me, you, a bunch of our friends. We were out to see this show, and we were dancing, having a good time, and everybody was having a really great time. I all of a sudden started not having a great time, and I pulled the fucking cord and I dipped out hard, like just totally Irish exited. Didn't say goodbye to anybody. told Kira I was leaving. Kira was like, okay, I'll come with you. We went home. And I had this moment. I went home, immediately walked into the door, stripped all my clothes off, went into the bathtub, turned on the shower and sat down and basically just like started crying. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Well, what was going on? It clicked in that moment where I realized, oh shit, there's actually something very, very like not okay going on. And I've been ignoring it. So I texted you guys that night. It was like 3 a.m. or something.
This is, by the way, this is the worst text to get.
I know. I said, guys, can we please meet tomorrow for a beer? There's something I have to tell you.
At 3 a.m.
And you guys were like, I mean, you guys are great. You guys were like, absolutely, dude. We love you. Like, let's make it happen.
Also, internally feeling ultra anxious.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, the next day we go out for lunch. We sit down and we all order a pint and we're having this conversation. And I laid out to the two of you, which I had done this the night prior with Kira. I had laid this out to her as well, where I said, hey, I have to be honest with you guys. I have been not okay. I told you I felt my mental health has been tanking. And the way that I have come to this realization is by noticing the way that I happen to, the way that this manifests in me is I seek to escape it in a very particular way. Now, I'm really grateful that I seek to escape it in the way that I do, because if it was like seeking, there's a lot of ways I could be seeking that escape that are really fucking not fun.
Yeah. You mean you had identified a coping mechanism.
A coping mechanism that is unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that coping mechanism that was unhealthy was not like hardcore alcoholism. I wasn't out like, sex addiction, just like trying to fuck anything and everything that I can. I wasn't like using hard drugs or anything like that. My coping mechanism was a video game addiction. And I expressed to you guys that it got so bad that I was lying to you, Brian, and Taylor, who's not here right now. He's at an ultrasound appointment. And Kira, my partner. And I would lie to you guys, telling you that I had doctor's appointments, blood work, had to pick up prescriptions, shit like that, in order to stay home, not come to the office, and play video games. And then when Kira would come home, she would go, how was your day? And I would say, oh, fuck. And I would tell her that I missed work today because I had all these doctor's appointments and all these blood work tests and all these things that I had to do. And I missed recordings. But in reality, I was actually home playing Baldurs Gate.
Which is funny when you say that. Like, I should say we've had.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
We've had this conversation, and I also want to say, dude, in the moment when you first told me this, the strongest feeling that I felt a bunch of different
Brian
feelings.
Punched me and walked out.
I think the strongest feeling that I felt was a feeling of admiration. Not that you had just been playing video games. I wasn't admiring the fact that you were just playing video games at home. I genuinely admired that you had the ability to tell us that. Yeah. And also I should say too, like quite soon after you realized yourself, I mean, you like it was something that was really evident to me in that moment. And when you talked us through the situation and I think one thing that you did really well in terms of communicating was talking us through the full experience of you coming to the realization yourself, because it was very easy for me to understand that like, this isn't somebody who is just avoiding, doing work or something. This is somebody who's sick.
When I said crazy, I mean, the reason why I used the word crazy is that it got to a point where I did actually have, I was kind of like half lying to you guys, right? So like, I mean, I was fully lying to you, but like there were half truths sprinkled throughout. So like I did actually have a doctor's appointment one morning. And I got out of that appointment at like 11 o'clock and we had a recording at 12. Mm-hmm. I then told you, and again, none of this, like when this was happening, none of this didn't make sense. To be quite frank, it was like, oh, I'm a genius. Like this is a fucking great idea. So I called you guys and I said, hey, I'm still at the appointment. After this appointment, I got to go get blood work. I got to go get a prescription. None of that was true. And so I'm not going to make the recording, but I'll probably be there at 2. And then hung up the phone and then went, okay, sweet. So that means if I go home now, it's 11 o'clock. I'll get home at 11:15. That means I can play video games from 11:15 to like ideally 1:15, or I could text them and say that the blood work's taking a little bit longer. So then I could push it to 2. And that's realistic. Kira won't be home by then. Then I can go to the office, do the last like couple hours of work that we need to do, then come home and start playing because Kira wouldn't have known that I've already played for. Like, it's that level of like, what the fuck? And again, had no, like, it made total sense in the moment when I had this epiphany. By the way, I had taken some psilocybin mushrooms. That was the thing that like helped me expand my consciousness to a degree of going, wait a fucking, hold the phone. What the heck? This is weird. Made that realization and went, what the fuck, dude? You are literally scheming and like you're doing math, calculating the hours, the minutes of which you can fit this into your day by lying to the people around. Like, this is, you're sick. Like, there's something going on here. It's not that you're addicted to video games. It's that you are literally like seeking escape so badly because you haven't dealt with your fucking shit. You've been using the excuse that you can't afford therapy for years. You've been using, this excuse, that excuse, yada, yada, whatever. And so as soon as that epiphany happened, the first thing I thought was like, I have to fucking tell everyone I know that this is happening. Which like everybody, that like I have to tell my inner circle. Yeah.
Which is that's the thing that I admired about you in that situation is like, I think it's not hard for people to imagine that it would be easy to go, oh, fuck, this is crazy. People still don't know. I just need to be better. Like, like, fuck it. I'm not going to tell them.
I don't want to get caught in the lie.
I don't want to, they might be hurt by this or whatever. Yeah. And I do want to like emphasize how important it is that you did tell us that because I mean, like for the obvious reasons. But also it like, then we sat there. I mean, we had a really nice, lunch. It was obviously a hard conversation, but it was nice to be able to sit there and go, okay, Jared, like how can you start to feel better? Like, what are the things that we can start to do? And like, we sat there and went on psychology today.
We sat there and we found my therapist.
We like Tinder swiped on therapists.
We literally went to find the hottest male therapist we could find.
We did.
And I found one.
Yeah.
And he happens to practice across the street from my house.
Literally lives works across the street from yours, which is really funny.
We Tindered my therapist, which is great. So now I have a therapist. And then I made an appointment with my family physician. Yeah. Which was great. So that appointment actually happened this morning. I finally got in. I had to wait a while. I got in. And speaking with her, it's like, you go to your family GP and it's like, you have 15 minutes. I was there for like 45 minutes and I was like, I'm so sorry. I know this is taking, and she was, my family doc is just so fucking great. She's awesome. And she was like, look, from what I'm gathering here, it seems pretty clear to me. You have clinical depression, but also you are struggling with untreated ADHD. And so, yeah, we made a game plan to like tackle those two things. So I'm starting medication for ADHD today, and we're going to do that for a little bit. And then my hope is that will help put me into a mental space where I can be present and clear enough in my day-to-day to help manage the depression part. Because like, just for context, for folks that aren't like, for everybody who's listening to this who doesn't fucking know me, I've made all these like massive changes to my life, especially like since Trikafta, but like lifestyle changes, like going to the gym 5 days a week, which I never fucking did before. Like waking up, going to the gym 5 days a week at 7:30 in the morning. Changing my diet, like eating healthier, cutting back on like the diet that I had for fucking years.
Taking creatine.
Yeah. Like just boosting myself with supplements. You know, like changing my sleep habits. So like really dialing on my like sleep hygiene. Like I've been doing all the things that like you hear people tell you to do when, you know, it's like, oh, you're struggling with ADHD or you're struggling with like mental health. Do these things first. See if you can change it this way. And I did those things and it didn't really make that much of a difference. I feel great physically. I feel good. Like I feel good. I feel confident, you know, when I like look at myself, those types of things. But like, it didn't have an effect on like my mental health really. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I started to kind of go, what the fuck, dude? Like, why isn't this working? Like I'm drinking my water, I'm taking my vitamins, I'm fucking getting outside and getting the sun. And I'm doing those things that you hear are like,
should be good.
Should be good. And like for some people though, that's all you might need. And I think I kind of pushed away the idea of like medicinal intervention, like medical intervention with like, you know, with like Adderall or fucking SSRIs or whatever. Like I didn't want to go down that route. But again, it's like, okay, well, I'm here now. And so I'm going to try this. And hopefully this is like a thing that helps. And again, I just want to say the reason I'm putting this out there selfishly for me is because this is the thing that I feel helps me keep me accountable. Mm-hmm. Right. Just like the way that I told you guys at lunch, what the fuck happened, or the way that I've spoken to Kira at home to like it keeps me accountable. Mm-hmm. You know?
I'm curious, like, since you made that realization and talked to us and have, you know, started going to therapy, like acknowledging that this isn't something that's going to change overnight. How has the last 2 weeks been? How have the last
already? It's been, it's definitely like been better. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I feel like just talking, I mean, you know, talking about it makes a difference. I mean, it's like that sort of cliche thing of like, don't bottle in your shit. Well, I was bottling in my shit. You know, we say it all the time, but it's like, it's so funny. Yeah. It's so funny how easy it is to like, to not follow the shit that you put out to the world. Like it's so easy to just forget.
Yeah. When you live by the train tracks, you don't hear the train anymore.
Yeah.
It's the saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure there's like a lazy river like fucking analogy in there somewhere.
For sure.
Yeah. So I already feel better than I did in that. Like when I came to you guys, I was in like a true like mental health crisis. Like I was in a really bad state. Mm-hmm. Obviously that has petered out and I feel better now. My skin is also better. Like I'm not fucking itching all the time. I'm still going to the fucking tanning bed every goddamn morning and getting burnt to shit, but my nipples are nice and white.
When you say too that you were in a mental health crisis, you were literally in a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
I should say too that we did have the conversation about like, are you having suicidal thoughts? Is there an emergency clinic we need to go to? Yeah. Like how do you feel in this sense? And we talked a lot about that's at first to make sure that, you know, like that you were in a place that you felt like you could start to take those next steps to. Yeah.
And I wasn't anywhere near that.
Yeah.
But again,
but it was still a crisis nonetheless.
Yeah. But I can see how that could very easily like, you know, evolve to something like that, you know? So anyway, I just want to, so like one of my favorite songs says,
dude, if you've got a mental illness, like fucking turn up, dude.
So I'm turning up. I've got depression and
those are great songs.
Yeah.
I also, I can't say it enough. And I know that Taylor feels the same way too. It's like, we're obviously incredibly proud of you for doing this and support you.
Well, thanks, brother. Let's move on to some entertainment.
Feel Good Friday.
I was saying, I maybe I shouldn't say it, but Taylor's doing baby stuff. And I already said ultrasound. He's at an ultrasound point, but I got to talk about ultrasound.
He's actually at home playing Baldur's Gate.
You fucking son of a bitch. God damn it. I'm on my second playthrough playing a bard. So sad.
Are you worried?
I still play.
I just want to say too, to all of our listeners who have a partner who's obsessed with video games,
it's okay.
Look, they're not that obsessed with video games.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not obsessed as I was.
Because like, as somebody who also like plays a lot of video games, Maddie, don't come at me. Okay.
You know what's funny is like I wanted to be really cautious when I went to Kira to like admit to her what was going on, because I was like, look, I want to be very careful in expressing this, because what the last thing that I need is for this to turn into something where you think that video games are a bad thing and I should not be anywhere near them. That's not the case. I'm abusing this dopamine fucking giver. I need to like reel back the amount that I'm sucking on this fucking teat, but don't take the teat away.
Yeah.
You know, I still want to be able to like watch this Netflix series that I just happen to be playing. You know,
it's not that the escape is the problem.
No,
it's the problem. The problem is that you're escaping.
That's right.
Is that you feel like
that's
you
right.
need the escape.
Yeah. And so I have, you know, I've built a much healthier habit to playing, and it's like, keep it to, you know, if you're going to play on the weekday, like keep it to an hour. And if you're going to play on the weekend, like make sure all the things that have to be done and all the relationships that have to be nurtured and cared for are fucking, maybe like that's happened first. All right, Rupert, get right up in there, buddy. Okay. So, ultrasound. This is wild science. I fucking love this. And I feel like it'd be fun to get someone from this study on the show. Focused ultrasound turns chemo from shotgun blast to sniper shot.
Wait, what?
So when fighting cancer, chemotherapy is still a bit of a blunt instrument. I love the way they wrote this article. It's fucking genius.
This isn't ChatGPT.
This is not. Okay. No, this is human wrote this. By combining it with sound waves, however, researchers have found a way to turn it into more of a scalpel than a club, sparing damage to nearby tissue and the body as a whole. Even though the number of ways doctors can fight cancer is rapidly increasing, traditional chemotherapy is still widely used to combat tumors. In fact, according to a study in the Lancet Oncology, it is predicted that the number of people needing the treatment is set to increase by 53% between 2018 and 2040. So let me just say that again. The amount of people needing chemotherapy is set to increase by 53% between 2018 and 2040.
Whoa. Like, I wonder what that is. Is that because
I have no idea.
Environmental causes, or we're just getting better at detecting cancer?
Maybe,
or,
yeah.
That's
or we're
really
living
scary,
longer,
though.
you know,
Yeah.
we're living longer. It
Yeah.
could be that too, like on a positive note. But I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
The fucking world's
Like
burning,
living longer just to get cancer.
dude. Yeah. But many of the well-known issues with chemotherapy still exist. It's so wild to read this. It can cause hair loss, nausea, weight loss, anemia, peripheral neuropathy, and a lot more. Plus, because chemo drugs treat the whole body, they can cause damage to cells outside the intended tumor targets.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So chemo is just you're taking a bath in fucking poison.
That's what I was wondering about, like how they're actually targeting it, because it feels like it's just by nature of the way that it's given, it just does everything.
Yeah, wait till you hear this shit. Attempting to make chemotherapy a more targeted solution, researchers in 2020 combined cancer-fighting chemicals with bursts of laser light to activate them at tumor sites, okay?
Huh.
While that treatment shows promise, its efficacy is limited to a few millimeters below the skin, which is the maximum depth a laser beam can penetrate in order to activate the chemicals.
Whoa.
So a laser beam can penetrate the skin, but only by a few millimeters. But seeking to harness the power of the targeted activation of chemotherapeutic drugs, but increase the depths at which they can function, scientists at the City University of Hong Kong turned to the idea of using sound waves.
Huh.
Working with cancer cell cultures in their lab, the researchers created a small molecule platinum-based prodrug called cyanin platin. which is gathered at the tumor sites. Now, a prodrug is a compound that are inert until they are activated inside the body. They're like a sleeper cell.
I'm just imagining what the audio track is that like lights them up. Like, is it like they're just playing like really sick music that like that just activates the chemo drug and it's like just starts jamming around the cells?
Yeah, it's either that or Skrillex. It's something fucking just get that cancer. So prodrugs are compounds that are inert until they are activated inside the body. And so they they created this small molecule platinum based prodrug called cyanin platin. They then beam the cyanin platin with highly targeted ultrasound waves, which convert the prodrug into carboplatin, which is a common chemotherapy drug. So it takes this fucking molecule, you zap it with sound, and it goes and it like evolves into, it's like a Mind Flayer.
Right.
Baldurs Gate. In Baldurs Gate, there's Mind Flayers. And if you have a Mind Flayer parasite in your head, anybody who's played Baldurs Gate at home is like, fuck yeah, dude. Okay.
So that's how it works. They just blast it with the ultrasounds.
So this induced tumor death by damaging the mitochondria inside the cancer cells. Okay, so do you want to see? They have a fucking sick video of the laser doing its thing.
Like ultrasound laser. So like
ultrasound laser blasting the blast, and they're doing it on skin.
Before you show it to me,
yeah.
Can I just guess that it looks like a big room with like huge sound monitors and then a bunch of soundproofing around it? And it just like blast. They just make you stand in front of a big speaker and they blast it at you.
Sort of. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more janky and a little bit more like sort of. Again, this is just like in like a university dorm room.
Oh, honey, his family.
Wow. Yeah. That looks like it took care of the cancer,
dude. Wiped it clean. No more brain cancer.
For those who are just listening, we just watched a laser explode a guy's head.
That was from Corridor Digital. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So the method was able to reduce the cancer cell viability by 51% when tissue coverage was 1 centimeter thick, and 33% with tissue coverage at a thickness of 2 centimeters. And this is just the beginning. So kind of cool. Like, it's just, I love hearing about this like cool sci-fi fucking futuristic treatment shit. It's just so cool.
It is crazy to think that, I mean, it feels a bit weird to speculate or say this, but it feels like with technology, the technology that exists today, that is being worked on today, that cancer will be curable in the not so distant future. And I think it feels weird to say that because cancer still kills so many people every single day. And so to say that like that might not be a thing in the near future.
I mean, near future, sure. Who knows? But like to say it'll never be possible is fucking, that's wild.
Yo, science.
You know what I mean?
What is it all about?
What is it all about?
We don't even know, dude. Technology.
What is that all about? Is it good
or is it whack?
Whack. It's whack.
Yeah. Let's talk about poop.
Okay. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, I know. This is literally what everybody's been waiting for. What do you know what amoeba poo is?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did you before this?
I did actually. Yeah, okay. I was familiar. Yeah. So do you know what the Bristol stool chart is?
Yes, I do. The 7 types of firmness to squishiness of poop that basically tells you if you're healthy or not based on how firm to squishy your poop is. And
do you know the names of the different 7?
I don't know.
Yeah. So do you want to know?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So we have marble poo. You have caterpillar poo.
Okay.
You have
so marble is little
sausage
dots.
or hot dog poo.
So marble obviously looks like little marbles. Like
marbles are just like little like rabbit,
deer.
Rabbit shit pellets. Caterpillar shit is a log that looks like it looks like the caterpillar from like
it looks
Mario.
like anal beads, sort of.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, it actually.
Sausage is normal.
Sausage is just a log. That's just a poop.
It looks like, it looks like a
sausage or hot dog. You can call it sausage or hot dog. Then you have snake poop, which is it's squiggly. It's like a squiggly snake dookie, like a worm, like an earthworm.
Yeah.
Then you have amoeba shit. Amoeba is like it's separated hard lumps, like marble, but it can be, and it's like hard to pass.
I've had that recently, but I actually started eating more granola.
Yeah, so lacking fiber is what causes amoeba poop.
Yeah.
Then you have soft serve shit, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Wait, I'm just realizing that this entire chart that looks medical refers to everything as shit.
Yeah, what does your shit tell you?
By dynamic nutrition.
Hell yeah, dynamic. Let's fucking go.
Soft serve type shit.
Yeah. And then you've got, you've just got here it says Jackson Pollock, but on there it says watery type. But I like Jackson Pollock.
Watery, no solid pieces, entirely liquid.
I'm a Jackson Pollock kind of guy.
Yeah.
On my day to day, but that's because I barely have a colon. So your toilet habits are massively impact your health, and they can easily tell you what you're lacking in your diet, or if you need to see a GP. And those are the 7 categories outlined by the Bristol Stool Chart. Now, the helpful guide compares the different shapes of objects to help people identify them easier and find out what they mean. Amoeba-shaped poos are small, easy to pass, and you should be able to control where you expel them, which is a really fucking weird thing to write. This type of poo, according to Healthline, indicates a lack of fiber in your diet.
Right.
So the average adult should aim to consume about 30 grams of fiber per day, according to government guidelines.
So does fiber make your poop less? I thought it made your poop more firm.
I always mix this up. I think it goes both ways.
Okay.
Too much fiber, not enough fiber will cause 2 different things, I think. Like too much fiber, maybe too poopy, not enough fiber. You know what? I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know. Maybe it says here. You can easily get fiber from vegetables, whole grain pasta, and bread.
Ate a lot of bread.
Look, you can get it from gluten. Poos, which are sausage-like shape and easy to pass, are described as the gold standard of poop by Healthline. And they indicate that your digestion is running smoothly and your fiber intake is good. God, if I wish. GP Dr. Sarah Jarvis told The Sun, eating enough fiber, getting regular exercise, and keeping your fluid intake up all contribute to this sort of poop, which can lead to what we like to call in the biz as ghost pooping.
Oh, yes.
Ghost poop, which is a very rare thing for most people, I would say, is a sign that you are fucking killing it.
Really?
So not only does a ghost poop feel great, there's so many things happening. It feels great because you feel like you accomplished something. You're saving the earth one less wipe at a time.
Less toilet paper.
You are also at the pinnacle of health. You're probably one of the healthiest people on the planet when you have a ghost poop.
That's crazy.
This is what the doctors say.
Okay.
So when you have a ghost poop, not only did you win at shitting, you also won the day.
Because you're just healthy.
Because you're just doing so well.
Which is kind of ironic that they call it a ghost poop, because like you're the furthest thing from a ghost, from being dead. Because you're so healthy and alive and full of life.
This is
I get that it's like it's a ghost poop because it's like you weren't even there. But like you're definitely not close to turning into Casper.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
And it's
I
right.
award you
it's
no
true.
points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh, fucking.
It's true.
Shout out Adam Sandler. But yeah, so there you go. So if you're ever in ghost poops, just know you are fucking nailing it. You've got enough essential fatty acids. Your circadian rhythms are in tune with nature, the light and dark cycle of the day, and you've got a ghost poop. You are perfect.
I actually it's good to know this. I had a problem.
This is why I'm depressed, Brian.
Because you're not having ghost poop.
Because I just have Jackson Pollock.
It's because you don't have 75% of your intestines.
The only difference is that my Jackson Pollock is not worth much money.
I had
what's his paintings like? Sorry, Jackson Pollock.
I don't know. It
just looks like my shit. Look at that. That is literally that's my toilet bowl.
That's nasty.
That is fucking
I had bad bowel movements last week.
Nice.
Because
tell me more.
Because I made shout out to Andy's East Coast Kitchen.
Yeah, shout out Andy.
I made Andy Hayes.
Wait, hold on. Don't shout out Andy's East Coast Kitchen and then proceed to say that you ended up with fucking destroying toilets across the city.
No, because I made a bunch.
You
of
fucked
stuff.
up, not Andy.
No. That's true. But I made a bunch of his stuff, and it's always really good. But I made his pizza pockets the other day, which was a massive bummer that they caused my stomach to be destroyed like this. But it was I don't know what it was in them, but after eating one of those, I was up all night long, going to the bathroom like every 30 minutes. But I definitely had similar types of poop that you are familiar with having all the time. But like the stomach cramping is what's really bad. Do you get cramping or anything like that, or is it just your poops are normal?
No.
Otherwise, like
it's just I just shit like 8 times a day.
I wonder why you get cramping in your stomach when you have like weird poops like that, and your digestion.
I don't know. Maybe because they're like shaped like blocks.
And you think it's like it's trying to
morph it into a worm.
Ew, that's so gross.
Or sorry, a snake. Or sorry, a hot dog. Or sorry, a caterpillar. Oh, fuck, anal bead. All right, let's wrap this up by moving on to this week's edition of. Okay, what do you think when you see this photo?
It looks like the Yellow Pages.
Yes, look a little closer. See what's going on there?
There's a.
Do you think this is Mid-Journey?
There's too many fingers.
There's definitely too many fingers, bro.
Yeah. Well, there's like,
which is for people who aren't familiar with the Mid-Journey, it is a AI image generator, and I don't know if they've fixed the problem. I think it's probably better now, but like for a while there, it had all AI generated images. They had a really hard time with hands. They would always put way too many fingers and it would look fucking weird. Here's another one.
Yeah.
So you can see there's
that's
1,
not a
2,
real,
3, 4,
wait.
5. I mean, there's 5 fingers.
Are you sure that that's not somebody's actual hands?
Well, actually, it is. So both of those are.
Actually,
yeah. So there was a woman with 10 fingers but no thumbs, and the photo popped up on Reddit, and it exploded on Reddit. Mm-hmm. Some medical students ultimately pointed out that the woman was likely born with triphalangeal thumb. I knew somebody
with an extra finger.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Did they? So wait, an extra finger or 5 fingers, but the thumbs were fingers?
No,
because that's what this is.
It was an extra finger. They had 6 digits. They
had
5 fingers and 1 thumb, all on the same hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a fetish out there for that.
I bet, and it's sounding almost like you might
2 extra holes to be filled with those 2 extra fingers.
No.
How many toes did they have?
I don't know. I never asked them.
Man,
we weren't on the like. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
what are you doing, step bro?
Get those 6 fingers out of my ass. Yeah. So the woman was likely born with triphalangeal thumb, a condition where an extra finger bone, a phalange, grows in the hand's most useful digit. So I believe this is a photo of like a maybe a newborn, or maybe like not quite a newborn with this condition.
Oh yeah.
But look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers, But I feel like that last little weird digit is probably like going to either be consumed or like fall off or
you know
something.
What this looks like? The photo that we look like, it's so wet looking.
This really looks.
It looks like those.
It looks raw.
You know those like those things you had as a kid that you would like the stretchy, sticky hands.
Yes.
That you like throw and they just like stick onto something and then like slowly.
My
peel
nephew
off.
Austin has one. He loves.
Yeah,
he loves
that
it.
was that thing.
Yeah. And folks, if you wanted to see that photo, you can go watch this on YouTube, which no one does, but you could do it. You could go do it. That'd be cool.
There's an option to do.
There's an option to fucking do that, so you could just go watch it. You might as well fucking watch it. So approximately 1 in 25,000 children is born with triphalangeal thumb.
Okay.
Which manifests when an extra phalange grows during embryonic development and extends the length of the thumb. The longer digit can sometimes function like a normal thumb. Alternatively, it can be shaped like the other fingers of the hand, such as the case with this Reddit user. So you can see, again, the photo there, which is a real trip. It's so funny when you look at this photo, you're kind of like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what are the hands backward? Like, what's going on here? Where's the thumb? It's a really... I think they'd be wicked at climbing a tree.
This one's really interesting because, like, you're right. Like, it looks like they should have a thumb, and like that would make more sense to me if they had 5 fingers and 1 thumb, like 6 digits total.
So the condition is often seen with polydactyl fingers, where an extra finger grows on top of or out of another one. So typically the thumb, which is what this image of the raw baby hand.
So I've seen that with like an extra pinky finger.
Cool. Did they have use over it? Like, could it wiggle? Like, probably not, right? Because like the movement of your digits is dependent on the ligaments that run up your arm, aren't they? So like if you had that extra, like if you see here, like you can see the muscle like this, right? So like you can see it big time right there. So like if you had this extra finger, like is there pulleys connected?
I think so. Yeah,
Wow,
I think it sort of extends. I mean,
maybe that's
from what I remember,
maybe that's
they
our
can use
evolution. Maybe that's where we're going next.
Maybe, yeah.
Extra fingers,
especially if you find if they
3
start
boobs,
if they start doing conventions,
2
like
buttholes,
like meetups for like fundraising conferences for
right, like the twin convention that they have down in the US every year.
Yeah, then those people start getting together and having sex and having babies.
They could wipe us out.
Yeah.
Us fucking thummies.
And if they can climb trees really well and that becomes a valuable asset, then maybe.
Dude, do you think that baby's sucking on
2 thumbs?
2 thumbs at once?
For sure. For sure.
Wow.
I mean, if you had an extra thumb,
that's gotta be extra bad for your teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well. All right, let's wrap this up. I see the computer does not have room for this, so let's. Whoa! Yeah. All right.
Oh, there's a lot of different things going on there.
Monica, our new friend that we have hanging out at the studio here, our production assistant who hasn't made an appearance on the show yet, is showing us, wild photos offset. Wow, look at those. Whoa, oh my God, the X-ray image. Whoa, folks, Google X-ray images. That's wowee.
Whoa.
Crazy. Well, folks, hope you enjoyed that. And we will be back next week as we always are. And in the meantime, support the podcast by going to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and follow and rate and review and all that stuff. Also, check out our new show, which launched this week called New Wave. It's a new podcast that we've produced. We produced it for an organization here in Nova Scotia called Life Sciences Nova Scotia. And it's very different from Sickboy. It's a fully produced and it's a whole fucking production.
Yeah.
But it sounds great. We're really proud of it. And it's interesting and you'll learn some really cool shit. So go check it out. We would really appreciate that.
And in particular, if you missed Taylor's voice this week, he's actually the narrator of the series.
He's the daddy of the show. He does a very good job.
You can hear him over there.
You can. And if you want to reach out, you can do that by sending us a email, letters@sickboypodcast.com, or you can go to the website and you can apply to be on the show. We would love to have an application from you if you think you would be a good fit.
And thanks as always to the folks who make this show happen. Our new production assistant, Annika, thank you so much. To Donovan, the CPAP Morgan, for the amazing sound design on our Monday episodes. And to Rich O'Coin for the theme music. And Jeff Lonis, our manager. We love you all.
That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
And I am Jeremy, and this is Sickboy.